Put your heart into it! かかってこい My loyal fans! Hey, hey! 任務を遂行する終わりだ
So usually whenever we talk about a grappler in this series, we tend to talk about what makes them strong or weak or unique or interesting. But in this one, I want to be a little bit different and talk about how this grappler is a love letter to previous grapplers that he's descended from. What's up fellas, Patriarch Panda here. Hope you guys have been enjoying the grappler series, the G.R.A.B series as we've been calling it. And I do think the production's getting better and better with every time that we run it. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the series so far. Have you guys been enjoying it? Do you hate it? Do you want me to cover shows? Are you boring? I want to say, make sure to obviously like and sub. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. That way we can cover Zangief, cover an interesting version of it. And I've already done the research. I think I might have them picked out, but I have a milestone to get there. Be sure to show support, and you can check out the Kofi membership system if you want to support my content in the future. But let me remind you what grappler wants. Grappler tends to have awful neutral, making it almost impossible for him to approach, but one of the positives that really help out the grappler is that his offense is usually ridiculous, like Zangief here. They trade any form of poking to have pure strike throw 50-50s, and when they open up the opponent and when they get in, they're by far one of the strongest to deal with and genuinely can make people fold. Now that you know what a grappler wants to do, it's time for the tag fighting game that everybody's been talking about. No, we're not talking about Tokan, we're talking about 2XKO!
Yeah!
2XKO is a tag fighter that gives off the same creativity as something of Capcom vs SNK2. The main difference being that this is a proper tag fighter compared to just going on to the next fighter like CVS2. This game is made by Riot Games and has some of the best in the community working on it in terms of balancing, like Apology Man. So a ton of community effort is going towards this game and it shows. I tend to go over the game, but this one is fairly new, so if I get anything wrong, be sure to let me know because there's still so much to experiment with right now. 2XKO is a game where you can swap freely between your teammates in terms of tagging or in terms of assisting. You can play by yourself or you can play for broski or even go full E-couple mode, pissing everyone off with names like his Darius and his Brum. Two kings walking hand in hand. Sex with a man! This game has simple inputs, making it very easy to pick up and play for a ton of the newcomers. However, don't play Vi. That will hurt your hands. I don't know why they gave her such a hard combo and lippage to do. Like, I'm like, Jesus, ain't no casual picking this up. The main thing that interests players is the variety with the fuse mechanics. You can pick one where it's just one character by himself but he's souped up, or go for double down supers, which is kind of like Marvel vs Capcom, so you're DHCing. Or my personal favorite, freestyle, which lets you tag between you and your partner, going back and forth. And it's quite cheeky and allows for a ton of creativity. So much more to the game with its fuses and mechanics, but like, I don't want to get into that too much as I just mostly want to talk about the grappler today. Let's get into him. The embodiment of every key grappler, the descendant of G.R.A.B. Bltzcrank!
Hostiles approaching.
Bltzcrank is the main big body grappler of the game. He truly is such a cool character with a ton of personality. He was created by Victor to take care of the Wasted Sun, the place that he's made these iron golems, and truly a good boy taking out the trash like Yatso to the garbage dump. We love him for that so much. He's designed to have stretchy arms to grab the garbage and have massive hands to crush it into a compact size. After finding Blitz's rusted body, Victor put a priceless crystal into him sourced from the deserts of Shurima. He came to life and never rusted again. However, the crystal made it so that he was given sentience, meaning the machine was alive! It's alive! I hope that was Victor's reaction. Like, if I brought Sentience to a robot, I know I'm doing a Frankenstein in a heartbeat. He has a fun backstory, and there's like so much to it. There was like a ton to read there, but I want to get the main synopsis out of the way. In this video, we will not be covering strengths and weaknesses, as I believe a lot of them will still be covered, and in the future, I want to do an in-depth gameplay guide into playing Bltzcrank. I do have a starter type guide, but I want to eventually make an in-depth guide so you can kind of pick up every layer about the character. But rather than talk about that, let's talk about how he's just a sheer love letter to the grapplers of fighting games. Well, let's get started with the main one that I think we should cover immediately, and that's the first big boy himself, Zangief. How does Blitzcrank compare? Zangief is inspired a good chunk of his base kit. He's given the grappler body splat, like the classic that the Russian man has started. Both of them both have a spinning move, but for Blitzcrank it lets him get steam and kind of hit confirm, whereas for Gief this is his only hit confirm and a way to kill projectiles in approach. So it's a little different, but the applications to use are still the same. One thing to note is that they share the running bear grab, a classic for Gief. This allows Gief to threaten a long-winded throw, usually catch someone landing or armoring through like something like a awesoem normal. For Blitz, it does the exact same thing, except he only gets the armor when building steam. He also does share the level 3 command grab style, so that's another cool thing. Go back to that steam topic, let's get into the next grappler that inspired him, and that was the big man, the Akaoni Tiger. I will mention Potemkin, but I felt like Tiger had a bigger inspiration on his toolkit if I'm honest. To start, he shares a ton in common with Tiger, the main example being the neutral. When Tiger wants to win, he wants to set up magnetism and pull him in for a 50-50. Blitz uses grappling hands to pull them in for a 50-50 as well. Despite the application being different, the concept is basically the same. They both want to pull in their opponent from far reaches of the screen using technology. They're both feared in terms of yanking their opponent in. Despite the fact that Tiger uses magnetism, I still think he'd dab up Bltzcrank for his efficient use of technology. They also share a resource meter. For Tiger, it gives him Spark Bolt to do a giga wind projectile that he can only use one time, whilst Blitz also gets a one-time use on an attack or a throw like his Yoink or his command grab. Again, kind of like Tiger, where you have a one-off tool, you have to boost that for either posing up or cranking it. And I kind of like the fact that the more I'm going through this, it plays into Blitzcrank's nature of learning from the past. You know, kind of like when he gained sentience. Up next is the man cladded in faith, and that is Potemkin. What does he share with Potemkin? And it's a couple of things. The main comparison is character cancelling. Character cancelling is when you can cancel the startup of your attack to gain 4 momentum to give to a special move. Potemkin does this by cancelling 6k into Potemkin Buster. Despite the fact that many grapplers have had character cancels before Potemkin, Potemkin did something cool, and that was he gains unique properties on all of his moves. When you did Car back Mega Fist, it wasn't just back Mega Fist, it was a carried version of it, until he took it away in Season 4. Like York says. But I meant that character cancels were sick for grapplers, and everybody recognised that about Potemkin, so much so when they took it away, they had to give it back as the community told them, no, don't do that. I appreciate how much people understand how unique it was for this big man to have that. But how does Blitz gain unique properties? Well, he can cancel his spinning move into his command grab, but they gave it a unique property, which character cancels can only be done from frame 1. As in, when you do the move, it has to happen immediately after the move that's being cancelled. In Blitzcrank, there's a bit of a gap, meaning you can kind of feint the lariat, and now your command grab can come out in about 14 or 15 frames, which is still unreactable, and it's still a good feint mix. So with Blitzcrank, they gave it a unique property of being very delayable, meaning that the character cancel, again keeping a unique mechanic, kinda like Potemkin. You can also do this for his level 3, but that's a gimmick in my mind. I understand that, like, oh, it's an invincible level 3 that grabs, but you can jump after the super flash. He also does share armor with Blitzcrank, but I'm gonna be real, this is not a Potemkin thing. This is a usual tag fighter thing, you know, like Z Broly or the Hulk. This is something that, like, is normal for tag fighters, if I'm honest. Talking about tag fighters, let's head into them. How did they inspire Blitzcrank? And I will admit it's a bit of a stretch, but when you look towards KBR's team, excluding Hulk, and how it inspired the overall game plan of Blitzcrank. Main one I want to mention is the Rocket Fist. When Blitzcrank does it, it kind of reminds me of Sentinel. stealing from the big body zoner a bit on KBR's team. The thing worth mentioning is when Bltzcrank does combos, he wants to land as many J2Hs as possible, which is the body splat, and you should be fearful of it as it's a very amazing normal. Shares that with my goat, the mayor, Scottish descendant, Scotland, Hagar. So they share in common with Hagar wanting to land as many steel pipes in the combo, and with Blitzcrank wanting to land as many J2H. So besides the combos, they do also share that the fact that they want to chase people in the air for command grab opportunities, and in the combos they both want to land their J2Hs as much as possible. One wants to land with their steel body, the other one a lead pipe. Which one is heavier? A kilogram of steel or a kilogram of lead? That's right. A kilogram of steel. Another thing that's worth mentioning when I was talking to Tales of Mr. E, awesome fella by the way, way too educated in tag fighters, love it. He basically had this to say: there's something in common with Spencer, and that's the man with the bionic arm. And that's just due to the fact that Spencer yoinks in his opponents and can do follow-ups. And that's very similar to how Blitzcrank does it as well. I do think this is more of a Tager trait, as there's a resource attached to it, just like Tager's. But I do see where he's coming from, and I do think he's right. Spencer definitely had some form of influence on Blitzcrank, without a doubt. In terms of references, I do believe that these are the key and big ones to know about our big boy, the Grappler, and how he's just a descendant of the gods. If you guys noticed any, be sure to tell me. To wrap up the video, Blitzcrank is a character that was designed to be a love letter to grapplers. If you've played any form of a grappler before Blitzcrank, you're going to see things that you're going to be able to recognize without a doubt. They put so much damn love into him. Anything he does, you just see the references, and as I've been doing my grappler deep dive series, I see it more than probably most would, as I've explored so many fighting games. I understand a lot of the visions, and I do recommend checking out those videos as well. They're very well done and I put a ton of time into them. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers. I want to keep doing 2xKO content. I've been loving commentating it. I might host a tournament for EU. I want to know the interest in it right now before I do such a thing. And I want to hear what you guys think I should cover for the next Grappler. This one is a lot different compared to the other Grappler deep dives, as this is more of a love letter to the previous Grapplers I've actually covered. Well, that's everything I gotta say. That's me signing out, and I hope you guys enjoy your time in the church. See ya.